Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the Daily Market Insight for Tuesday, the 5th of September. All right, now the key theme, dollar eases as risk appetite improves on China's measures. Now, non-farm payrolls data, the unemployment rate, a bit of a blowout. That's really sort of put the dollar, on a sort of negative tone. But I'll show you the charts, and as you've probably seen on your own charts, the non-farm payrolls did not disappoint as far as crazy volatility and price action. Now, China, they've eased measures on, I think, purchasing new homes or something like that, just to try and keep things ticking along. What China's doing is no different to what the Fed have slowly done over a period of time. Just keep feeding the market, like holding it up artificially, right? So at some stage that's going to come to a halt, but probably just not yet. Now the charts, I mean, once again, like as I was just saying, the key charts here, like last week, if you have a look where the currencies are now, or major instruments, like Euro's a bit lower, Sterling thereabouts, Aussie and Kiwi, same sort of levels, and dollar CAD for that measure as well, and almost dollar yen. So what you can see over a big week, okay, there's no clear trend, transparency, I was going to say in direction, but mainly the build-up was the non-farm payrolls. We saw all last week the job numbers, the various job numbers, and most of them that do not ever impact, were impacting the market. So to me, this week, it's a bit of a transition, right? We do have sort of second, third tier US numbers coming out, but we do have a lot of other data coming out from other centers. Okay, the RBA interest rate decision, we've got the Bank of Canada as well. There's a whole range of GDP numbers, employment numbers, et cetera, going forward, and the employment numbers out of Canada at the end. So the focus this week is trying to sort of just piece some trades together to make some cash, because when we look at the charts, there's no clear like direction here, right? All you can do basically at this point is just get on with the job at hand. And that's actually trying to find where the next sort of opportunity is and just retune your charts, right? You just got to realign the levels to where new highs or new lows, factor those in. Okay, and that's basically what you're doing at this point, especially on your hourly charts, right, where most of the focus is. Now, Euro's a little bit below, I'll leave that there. And this process is what you would be doing at the start of every week for that matter, especially after a big number like the non-farm payrolls, which just blows things out. Kiwi, well, I'll leave that there where it is. So now what we're trying to do with the technical analysis, let's just get this right, is just focus on areas where momentum may shift, and this is where the bankers start building up orders, and corporates for that matter, right? They start building up orders around support and resistance. We've got some new levels. You know what? It was a big week last week. Non-farm payrolls, a little bit crazy. No major outcome. Now, so let me just come over to the data here. And as I sort of scroll through, like there's a key event here. Now I've got this set up for second tier and top tier numbers. The major numbers there being the ones here with the red time on it. So RBA today, massive focus. Now, are they going to do anything? Well, the consensus is no, right? So it's going to come down to their statement and press conference, forward guidance around what they're going to do next, because the market already knows what they're doing now. It's what they're doing next is most important. Christine Lagarde, ECB president, is speaking early in Europe. It's worth having a look. She can definitely shift the market. Coming with some US factory orders. Some S&P Global PMI numbers there as well. Consumer expectations, maybe worth a look as well. But that's pretty much it, right? It's pretty light on for a Tuesday. And this is good because it gives the markets time to calm down, right? So if you're in the Asian or Australasian session, check out the RBA. It's just going to be a little bit convoluted because, once again, there's no expected change in rates. So it comes down to whether they're ambiguous in their statement or not, or very clear that we've topped out. I think all the central banks at this point will emphasize the job's not done yet. We need inflation to come lower, and we'll go from there. That's pretty much it. So I think it's going to be pretty neutral. And when you come over to the trading opportunities around this, just looking at the charts again, there's not a lot on offer, okay, unless we see some sort of crazy left field out of the RBA statement. This thing has just been grinding sort of sideways. If anything, sort of heading downwards. Okay, and that's pretty much what the Kiwi's been doing as well. If I just sort of shrink that up, gives you a good look, right? The last sort of week or so after the initial dip, okay, it has been gliding sideways. Now, the fact that this week, if I just come back to the data, right, there are some other major things happening. Try and plan your week around the big events, okay? Obviously, the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. Well, this is one of those anomalies, right? Like, why is that not a high impacting event? Because it is, okay? Even though there's no change of rates expected, any central bank major meeting or things like that would be a high impacting event. The thing is, this is like I call it a transitional week. And as you can see, as I scroll down through the data, we do have lots of connecting bits and pieces, right? So it doesn't matter where you are, North America, Europe, or Australasia, you're going to have a few opportunities to sort of jump in here. But what we're really waiting for is September 13, right? This is the inflation numbers out of the US. That is the key event that traders globally are waiting for. So as I said, don't fall in love with the trading opportunities unless you see something completely unusual that goes with the current trends. And at the moment, that it's a little bit tricky as to where everything is going. Actually, while I'm there, I'll just bring you back over to that, because just don't forget to, at the start of the week in particular, check your charts, check your daily charts, check out where the major trends are going, right? And this is what's happening is the dollar was starting to come back. It's stalling, but it hasn't actually fallen back yet, right? So Euro's under pressure, sterling still. You can see very clearly Aussie and Kiwi under pressure or going down. Dollar CAD up, dollar yen up, and well, dollar Swiss has broken up. But so we're waiting, as you can see on these daily charts, we're waiting for like something conclusive to get our teeth into that's going to set the trend, right? And this is the transitional part between when a central bank raises rates, hits the top of the hiking cycle, and then inflation starts to fall, but they're not cutting rates yet, right? It takes a long time for them to cut rates before, but until inflation gets back down to their inflation band, that 2 to 3% mark. So in the meantime, we've got to piece together where the next buildup of pressure is. And that's why we're looking at these data releases, and keeping a very close eye on, like today, it may not necessarily be a trading opportunity here on the Aussie around the RBA, but we'll have a very good idea of what they're going to be doing next month and the month after, right? The same for Christine Lagarde, right? If she's speaking, let's sit back and listen to what she's got to say, because she's pulling the strings there at the ECB. All right, guys, there's plenty to look at this week. As I said, I wouldn't be sort of banking on this is going to be your big money earner, but what you want to do is tap some cash into your account. The last thing you want to do is lose money and dig a little bit of a hole as we go through the week, because once we hit Wednesday, traditionally Wednesday, Thursday are your best trading days, right? So make sure you got some money spare if you do see an opportunity, and don't just trade because you're bored. That is a pointless way to lose cash. All right, guys, all the best. Cheerio.